Your weekly dose of dicks, right now on The Dicks Show.
That's right, your weekly dose of dicks once again on a Friday night. I'm Richard Mixon. That's DJ Riches.
What's happening?
To
Welcome
my right
back.
is our producer Teonnie.
Welcome back.
You may, you may have been warned not to take two dicks at once, but we are the noted exception for that.
always. At the same time?
At the same time, we're here. I mean, we try not to talk over each other at the same time, but it doesn't always happen that way.
It happens.
It does happen.
We're back in lovely Tracy, California.
Where it is just as hot as it was in Las Vegas, Nevada, it turns out.
The RMS studios. So, how was your week? I know you were ready for it.
You know,
I know you were ready for it.
Yeah, this is the first. I got this horrible pain in my side. That no, you know what? I actually I did this thing yesterday. So I went to go use. We're going low rent right off the bat here, and I'm sorry about that.
It happens.
I went to go use the restroom yesterday, and we're out of toilet paper. Have you ever had that happen?
We're out of toilet paper? No, I'm stocked. I'm stocked.
I'm sorry, not the house, but like in the restroom or in the bathroom.
Yes, if you know my wife, wife's the kind of person who's just toilet
so
paper.
We were out, and I realized too late. But there's and I probably should admit to this because I might get in trouble. But there was a little thing of like wipes. They're on top of the toilet.
Like flushable wipes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I used one of those.
They're necessary in the summertime.
I used one of those, and I forgot the toilet paper in the bathroom the next 3 times I went in there.
So
I'm not sure I'll ever use regular toilet paper again.
Are you the kind of guy that will actually go refill it and then throw the old one away?
What, the empty cardboard?
Yeah, the empty cardboard.
Yeah,
too.
why would I? What else would I do with it?
Well, you're a crafty gentleman, so I could see you making some goggles, binoculars.
Either the house just gets full of a bunch of bullshit if I do that. That's the problem with that.
Cat toy.
Cat toy. Maybe,
Cat toy.
You know what? Okay, fair enough. The rabbit gets them sometimes.
The rabbit gets the
empty toilet paper thing. Well, the rabbit.
What do you do with that?
He's an angry little bastard.
The rabbit.
The rabbit. He's like, I think he gets like because he's in the cage, you know, and I make sure that the kids let him out once in a while. But man, he's a little bastard. He get anything that he can get his teeth around, which is, I'm amazed at the things he can get his teeth around sometimes.
Tell me.
He flings it. He like grabs it and it's like as hard as he can, and he's like. If there was a rabbit football team, he could be a quarterback. He has flung some stuff. he's got a not an arm, but you know what I'm saying. He is like
got a leg.
Yeah, a paper towel tube went clear down the hallway actually, and it was
okay.
Yeah.
So as a lot of you know, we were live from Las Vegas, and there was some debauchery. If you've seen the show last week, there may have or may not have been some alcohol consumed out there. I mean, there was a lot of smoke in the air, despite all of the lengths that the casino actually went through to filter the air. So, I mean, we were using, the cancer kazoos last week.
Welcome to Las Vegas. Yeah, I think.
welcome back.
It's best part of the show, and it happened in the first 3 minutes, and then it went downhill from there.
It did. Looking back, it was funny. But what did you think? I mean, what was your real impressions?
My impression?
Yeah.
My impression, I don't remember part of it, and I think I was the most sober one of the.
I think on my actual birthday, you disappeared.
Yeah, right.
You disappeared right around, I don't know, 11, 12 o'clock.
No, it was 1 o'clock.
Did you see?
When I could not see the clock any longer, because even with like glasses, it was 1 o'clock.
Did you see our bar tab when we left that chandelier bar?
I did. I heard of it.
It was impressive.
$1,300.
And
It was all
I know
beer,
you
mostly.
bought a round. I know Carlos bought a round. I know Zach bought a round, and Nick bought a round.
No, it was with a couple exceptions. It was near $1,300 on just beer.
It was
because
expensive.
every time a round was purchased, with the exception of one round that I think James bought.
Yeah.
Every one of us. Well, it's my turn to buy a round. So. And there was what, 8 of us?
I love those type of friends.
I think at one point there was 8, and then once Zach and Carlos and everybody ended up
started
about
at 8,
11 people.
11 or 12, yeah. But man, it was a lot of money.
It was a
spent
good
on
group,
beer.
but I mean, Vegas is definitely different. I mean, if you're used to the same Vegas that was before, it is not the same atmosphere. They are very strict about the mask wearing. Okay, there are people that are walking around trying to give you hand sanitizer. Mm-hmm. You will wear a mask whether you like it or not, or you won't be on the casino floor. Just period.
Well, and I've been asked by several people now. Well, did you have a good time? And my answer is twofold. I did in fact we had a great time. But we would have had a great time wherever we went. But
True.
I think to most of my friends, you'd be going to Vegas expecting a certain type of atmosphere that does not exist there right now, to any degree that it normally does, unless you like to go there and just be a degenerate gambler the whole time, which
as long as you're okay with being a degenerate gambler with the mask on.
Yeah,
and
it's and it's hot in Las Vegas. You're walking around outside in the plexiglass, so you get into this thing where, well, if we go to a pool party, will we have to? Excuse me. If we go to a pool party, will we have to wear a mask? And then, then you start having this inner conversation with yourself, like, well, maybe I should wear a mask, and maybe it shouldn't be an issue of whether or not they're going to force me to. And then the whole thing turns into I'm hungover and I'm going to stay in bed.
Well, I mean, regardless, though, I mean, we still made the best out of it. We still had a really nice dinner.
Had a great time.
I had all my closest friends that I have were around me. I mean, they're all family to me. Showed up. There was some surprises. We drank copious amounts of liquor.
Yeah, it was a lot. I haven't gone out a drinking with you in a while. And I had to stop early.
You learned your lesson on that one. Yeah. You didn't make it out. Like, we actually got a cabana at the pool.
I know. I got there as a chair was being blown away by the windstorm, and the signs were going up saying the pool was closed. I think I saw an actual stanchion get picked up by the wind and tossed. And
so James actually reserved the cabana, right? Mm-hmm. And they told us, oh, you got to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning to check in. We called each other at 9 o'clock, like 8:45 in the morning, like half dead. Mm-hmm. You gonna make it down to that pool? I don't think I can. And I'm like, he's like, all right, let me check. So they actually have until 11 o'clock to check into the cabana, right? Mm-hmm. So 10:45, we going down to the pool. All right, and it was just that depressing walk.
I believe it.
Down there, and we're sitting there, and as we're walking into the pool area, you check in, and they have, and I guess I'm not sure, is it a concierge or a host? I guess they go check you in, and they're like, hey, and he's all kinds of happy, and oh, good morning, guys, and welcome to the Cosmopolitan Pool.
Fucking happy
and we're like, right? You can't even get a word out. It just sounds
grunt.
Yeah.
Well, by then it was. We'd been doing a pretty solid job of it 3 nights in a row.
Oh yeah,
right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This was Sunday morning, and
I was so looking forward to it too. Right?
Hell yeah.
We had a cool cabana.
Sexy and shit.
We're out there.
Pasties flew off.
So we get down there, and at this time it's just me and James, right?
Right.
In this cabana by ourselves, mm-hmm. And the hostess is like, you guys look like you need a drink, right? So he comes and he brings us a bucket of beers and a mimosa, and I don't know, he kept just bringing us different shit. And the first beer just like molasses. It's just, you might as well just drink a cup of glue.
Well, you shouldn't have got a Newcastle while you were there.
No, it was a bucket of Coronas, and you're just like, I don't want to be drinking this. But then, by the time we had like our third or fourth beer, that's when Teonnie made it back down to the pool. But it was so windy. Like he was saying, like,
it was crazy amounts of wind.
Yeah, I mean,
intensely windy.
Were you wearing the turban? I don't remember. You didn't wear the turban and pasties is what she was wearing in Vegas. So if anybody wants to know what Teonnie was wearing in Vegas, it was a turban and pasties.
Shut up.
The whole time. But it's different because it's difficult to socialize and be around friends, whether you're social distancing or not. And in Vegas, it was even more difficult. So I think a lot of the time we spent was trying to find places where we could take our mask off.
As we were sitting in a group, because we were doing that in a hotel, and I want to be clear about that. This wasn't like, where can I go and violate a suggestion or a recommendation? It was, we are all hanging out together in a hotel room, and we want to be able to take that into another place and not feel that you can't sit next to each other. Well, we have been for the last several hours while we were in the hotel. I get, okay, don't let anybody else come near us, which is probably a good idea.
Well, with the chandelier bar we were hanging out, mm-hmm. It was beautiful, but I mean, they had the table separated enough where you were actually socially distanced from other people that were around you. So, and we were just with our group, so it wasn't like we were way out of pocket or doing anything inappropriate. It was just, it was different. It was finally, okay, here's a place that we can hang out. We ended up hanging out there from, I think, like 3 p.m. till about when Scott died. Which was somewhere at 11:30, 12 o'clock. So we racked up a pretty good bar tab there, because at the same time,
an hour and a half to get a pizza. That's how long.
Yeah,
me and Carlos, I was.
And everybody was like, oh man, what did let's go do something. But by that time, we're liquored up after 8 hours of drinking straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
let's go do something. And then there's really there's nowhere else to go. The regular bars, the nightclubs are all closed.
We did have a badass view though. I didn't mind drinking in the hotel at all.
The hotel, the Cosmopolitan Hotel. What'd you think?
That's where I'm staying from now on.
I agree. It was my first time staying in there. I stayed in a lot of different hotels in Las Vegas, but we had all of us had suites at the Cosmopolitan, overlooking the Bellagio fountains. It's the view that you imagine when you're like, oh, I'm booking a strip view.
Right. Yeah.
And that was that view, and you're like, you've seen everything. You've seen Paris, the Bellagio.
They told me that at the Hooters when I stayed there, and
it was the view that you wanted. Did you get the view you wanted at Hooters?
Not quite the same. Quick shout out to our normal listeners: Chris T, Alizawi's online, Rayanne, Michelle, Jeremy, J Mag, Justin Miller. We're calling out. If I'm missing anybody, I'm sure I am.
I see Jason.
Pops is on there. JL Lambert is on. We got it. We got the whole gang here, so I guess we can officially start then, right?
How's everybody doing? What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's the 4th of July. If you didn't notice with the background, my mom called me and said, "Aren't the cats in your house going crazy with all the fireworks?" And I said, "Well, first of all, look where they live." In fact,
do your cats actually get scared?
No. Did
they even bother, or is it kind of like a?
I had a video, and it's because my cats are old, but somewhere I have a video of Copernicus when he was a tiny little kitten, and it was recorded on the same LG flip phones that we all got at the same time around 2004. And so the video's long lost, but I have a video of him riding around on the Roomba, just like it's
the cat.
Yeah, just it's a cool thing to do. This is my mode of transportation.
Does the cat fuck with the rabbit?
No. Although I've apparently Copernicus went in there and tried to give the rabbit a little tongue bath, but
it's like, hey, you're softer than me.
But yeah, and so my whole thing is, I think a lot of people are tired of being stuck inside, and this is the 4th of July, and if I've got to go to wear a mask at the grocery store, well, I'll light off more mortars than I might normally.
4th of July is by far my favorite holiday. I mean, I know everybody loves Christmas, and I know there's people out there that love Halloween, but 4th of July is my favorite. It drives my wife nuts, because it's always, let's have a barbecue. Let's buy all the fireworks that we, how much money do I have in my bank account again? I want all the fireworks. Neighbor
John knows what we're talking about.
Give me the big
with the fireworks.
He may or may not.
For those of you that don't know, there was a class action lawsuit threatened against my house many years ago because we put on a fireworks show that I feel pretty safe to say rivaled the city event. We started about the same time. Their finale happened. We went for a little while longer, and then our finale happened. And all but a couple neighbors on my street and nearby areas. I mean, we had hundreds of people. Yeah, you were there. We were hundreds of people on the street, and it was a great time. But every neighborhood has a couple people that
they're pissed. Why are people lighting up fireworks all week?
They weren't team players.
Because I love America every day, not just on the 4th of July.
They weren't team players, and they didn't like it, and they wanted to have a class action lawsuit against us.
Here's a question for you. So a lot of the cities, here in San Joaquin County canceled all their fireworks shows, because they wanted people.
Why couldn't you just do it somewhere centrally and have everybody walk outside their houses and watch the fireworks? And big mortars up in the air, we can all, I don't... It get canceled because we can't... Yeah.
My question is well, they already have the fireworks. Can we buy some?
At wholesale?
Yes. I know a lot of these cities are struggling for cash right now.
I bet they're in a warehouse somewhere. You get what I'm saying?
I think so.
I don't condone any of this. So something in the news right now that I want to talk about.
Yeah, so, what else? How else are people celebrating?
Well, one person's celebrating by flushing their drugs down the toilet and getting alligators all methed out on crystal. It's a true thing. In fact, I heard about this story. I think I heard it on the radio. I might have read it because somebody said something like, who would have guessed after the murderous hornets and the everything else? I think life is going to smoke a cigarette when it's done fucking us in this year. It has to.
So tell me the story.
So I heard this story about alligators that had a crystal meth habit. And so before the show tonight, I sat down and I typed in alligators, Florida, crystal meth. They're not in Florida, so I don't know. That was just a guess on my part.
All like the old washed up football players from all like the Florida college teams,
Right. I guess my point being is that I made an assumption that it was in Florida. It's not. It sounds like the type of thing you, I guess, associate Florida with alligators, but it's in Tennessee.
There's alligators in Tennessee too?
There's alligators in Tennessee in the sewer system.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Well, wait. What happened to the Ninja Turtles in the sewer system?
that's in New York.
No, there's alligators.
Wrong state.
And they're doing meth.
I feel like,
Shut the fuck.
I feel like if you're an alligator and you're destined to live in literally the sewer system of Tennessee, I'm not going to fault you for having a crystal meth habit. Do your thing, alligators.
I want to know who teaches. I mean, is there a gateway drug for these alligators before they start doing meth?
It's from people flushing their drugs down the toilet. And I guess this one guy, Loretto, Tennessee. They served a search warrant, and this guy was flushing all his methamphetamine, and so they're warning that. I guess it's a thing enough. And how much alligators in a sewer system? How much drugs get flushed down the toilet that the alligators are actually like going and robbing liquor stores and breaking into people's cars to get money to go buy more crystal meth?
Well, that was my question. Like, what happens next when the alligators start tweaking, and then they're like, "Hey, guess what? I got to fix my car."
Right.
And then they have an old Trans Am in the sewer.
Piles of bicycles out in front of the house that they're chopping up with grinders and stuff, and they're ripping panels out of their cars because they're
know where
wiring.
we're going with this, but let's take a quick break.
Crazy,
Shout out to my cousin
alligators.
Big Bob. What's up, Dalton? Neighbor John is out there.
Hey, bestie.
Yep.
Who's ready for the 4th of July? I want
Yes,
to play
sir.
some Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen. We got to ask old Bruce if we can have the rights to it because,
We'll call him on your cell phone.
I should call him right now. Anyways, liquor of the week when we come back. Take a quick break. We'll see you guys soon.
It's the Dick Show.
Hold on to your mind. Destiny you will find in your own way. Yeah. Ooh, well.
Is there alcohol in this, or is this just ice water?
Just ice water right now. And we're back on the Dick Show. We got ice in our cups, which means that it's time to talk about liquor of the week. Special liquor of the week. Why are we
special.
changing up the liquor of the week? I hear everybody ask because normally we do a lot of whiskey, we do a lot of brown stuff.
Birthday.
Yes, it's Teonnie's birthday, and she likes Hendrick's gin.
How old are you? 24? 24 this year, T?
Yeah.
Her son insists that she's 21. We had a whole discussion on that last night.
Why 21, not 24?
He's buying the narrative, that's for sure.
He's already shooting for Christmas?
Yeah, we got
So
the
what are we
special.
drinking? What are we drinking
Out
this
of
week?
focus. We got the special bottle, special edition of Hendrick's gin. It's the summer solstice. Picked this up at Safeway earlier.
It is so bomb.
That was
and
last week.
Summer solstice was last week.
The mood gets you so mellow.
Gin?
Because y'all know I'm rowdy as hell.
You got a cup there.
Does this make you less rowdy?
Hell yeah.
I gotta say, I don't know that
nerves.
I've never drank gin straight up like this before.
We're drinking gin neat.
can't even see
And
myself.
I'm not a gin drinker. Even though Mr. Dog, the Snoop Dogg,
He drinks gin and juice. Is
He
what
does.
He drinks. Yeah,
laid back.
wrote a song about it
Laid back.
with his mind on his money and his money.
Okay.
Well, we got to drink this straight up first, though. We all got to take a drink of it before we add the pineapple to it.
Okay, so let's think. Hendrick's gin.
There we go. Happy birthday, Teonnie.
Salute, T. Happy birthday.
There we go. All right. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's got that little floral kind of.
I could drink this straight.
I plan to the rest of the show now.
Yeah, I'm not, I was like, you know what? I'm not really a mixing kind of a person.
Gin drinker.
Well, I'm not a gin drinker at all.
Pineapple is the bomb.
Okay, we said happy birthday. Leave us alone.
Yeah, that's enough about the
No,
gin
but
talk.
I'm not a big gin drinker, but this is a tasty.
It's all
This is a
about
tasty
gin
beverage.
and juice.
Neighbor John said he drank it once and he was sick for 3 days. But the question is how much. I'm gonna
Yeah,
wager
I'm
to
gonna-
say it was more than what I got in my
Yeah.
glass here.
I got about a shot, maybe a shot.
It
and a
depends
half
on
of
the gin.
Yeah, I think it does. This is a
This
tasty
type
gin,
of Hendrix
actually.
is made.
You can taste. You can
Good
taste the
old
floral.
think-
You can taste the floral. Just
I think we know when Teonnie doesn't like something because we saw that last show in Vegas. It was just
did you guys see the look on T's face when she was drinking the whiskey? And that was good whiskey we were drinking too. That was what, $125 bottle of whiskey?
She does not like whiskey at all.
You know what? I got a package in the mail. Well, no, I confiscated it. So the Cobra Commander, who did not show up in Las Vegas, who confirmed he was going to show up, did not show up in Las Vegas last week. Yes. So he felt bad, and I didn't know you could be the leader of what would you call Cobra? An evil organization, I guess.
Yeah.
And feel bad, but he did. He felt bad, so he actually gave us a better bottle of Whistle Pig that actually made it back to California.
Let's not have him on the show more often.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worked out well for us.
Exactly. So
that'll be the liquor.
He made it.
He made it. But he missed the show. But he missed the show.
Well, because we cut it off a little early. Because we were out of stuff to talk about. We were just kind of rambling, and we were, 3 sheets to the wind. I wanted to drink, and I felt bad about doing it on the air for too much.
You know what? You actually made it Friday. So on Saturday, I actually got up and got an IV treatment that Saturday.
Yeah, that's why you guys all lasted like you did Saturday night.
T lasted
just to rehash.
She was out in the pool with her clothes on.
I started drinking at 3 in the afternoon Saturday, and then by 1 o'clock in the morning, I was kind of
Well, maybe
done.
you should have hydrated.
Let's talk a little bit about the coronavirus because it's a thing right now. God. We're in San Joaquin County, next to Stanislaus. I guess we're one of the worst.
Coronavirus.
I thought
we haven't used that button in a while.
Coronavirus.
I thought the shotgun was there because we weren't going to talk about it anymore.
So I was hoping we wouldn't talk about this.
Yeah. So we all obviously we all know we got to wear our masks everywhere. That was the thing even before this happened. I hated it when I was wearing them. I would come in sometimes with sniffles, and if you're out there painting, why aren't you wearing a mask? Well, because it fogs my glasses up, and my glasses, which I'm not wearing right now because the lights aren't set up right, and it looked weird on my face. I don't like wearing a mask, but
you don't like. I
understand
so much that you went and bought a $100 mask just to.
Yeah, and then I lost it and I found it again. But I get it. I don't like being required to wear one. But I put it on pretty religiously now because I think. If for no other reason than we're big shots on the air here with this show that we have with all of our viewers right now, and we should lead by example.
I don't know. Right? I mean, we're not sitting on chairs; we're sitting on piles of cash. That's how that works out for us.
Stacking it high, but no, I think that there's a certain amount of the more people that do it, the more people will see it, and the more people will wear masks, and I think that I don't wear one outside if I'm riding around on my scooter or a bike or whatever I'm doing. I obviously don't wear one in the car, but if I go in a place, you should wear one. I've turned around. I got halfway to Quick Stop. I got all the way to Quick Stop today and realized I didn't have my mask, and I took a scooter ride back home and I got my mask.
It's around the block though, but I mean,
it's a minute scooter ride. It's not bad.
I hate wearing the mask. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Feel like you can't breathe. Gives me.
Got to do it though.
Complain? No, I mean I do. I go to the store. I was at the store all damn day today. I had to wear a mask. Went to Costco. Went to Safeway. Went to Home Depot. Mask.
Mm-hmm. It'd be like that.
I think I have masks in every single one of my car, but I understand the purpose. What it's gonna. I mean, I know they keep talking about this is the new normal and this is what's gonna happen. Get used to it. I just got a feeling it's gonna be years before anything really actually changes for the better. Opening up.
Is there a place I can go where I can get injected with this thing, not die from it, and then be like, hey, I got the antibodies and good. I can.
Well, I mean, chances are you're not going to die from it.
I'm not going to die,
even if you are.
70% of the country is going to get it, at least. So it's.
And still, less than 1/10 is going to die from it.
Carlos has just said Cobra.
Yeah, we've seen.
Shout out to Rochelle. She's on here.
Thanks for the Whistle Pig.
Kenny's on there.
Bestie Justin, I'm gonna beat his ass.
Yeah, Biscuit's on there.
He just sent me.
It happens.
So yeah, now I'm starting to think. I was rooting for a normal school year. I don't know. We got to look into homeschool because they're not. They didn't learn fuck all this last semester, and it's gonna be the same.
Well, it wasn't.
I had teachers tell me you just need to tell me that they did their stuff. Well, how I was at work.
Our teachers would email us and say, Well, we're not really requiring them to do the assignments. They just need to log into Dabba Dabba app and, say hi. And that way I can prove that they were, attended so they can get credit. And I'm sure it's how they get compensated from the state. But, I mean, even worse, like for the kids, like based off the state website that we were looking at earlier.
Somebody's calling on our text line. Should we answer this right now? Let's answer it and see who it is. We'll come right back to it. Hello, The Dick Show.
Hey, what's going on, man? I know you guys are talking about the coronavirus. This is Kenny Boy Cruz, man. Enjoying you guys, watching you guys every Friday.
Oh, Kenny Boy, what's going on?
Kenny, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? Happy birthday, Rich.
Hey, thank you, brother.
What's going on is this. I want to make sure people know about the mask. Like, when you're in your car and you're driving to the store, yeah, you definitely don't need to wear a mask if you're sitting in your car. But when I'm driving to the store, I see people walking by themselves or riding a bike wearing a mask. Like, nobody's even around them. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's what we try not to do, or at least
it depends. Like they were saying, Gaviner yesterday was saying that if you sneeze while you're on your bicycle, it's going to travel 26 feet. And if you're riding your bicycle in the opposite direction that you're sneezing, bro, that's a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, you just lay down and patch, bro. It's just like
Bullshit.
you and the Impala, or the Monte Carlo, just.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know. I guess you got a little point, but I think it only goes so far. But I know what you're saying if you're driving and stuff. But man, I be seeing people like walking to the store and like they're 100% by themselves and wearing a mask. Like, man, dude, I can understand once you get to the store then put on a mask.
Kenny, just think of the dumbest person that you know, and then think about the fact that half the country is dumber than they are.
Exactly.
Statistically speaking, you got to always remember that, and it's kind of it takes away some of your faith in humanity, but it's a thing.
You know what I was reading, and this may be trash science, but they were saying that alcohol kills the coronavirus. So if you keep a level of alcohol in your blood system, then you're immunizing yourself from the coronavirus, and that may or may not be junk science, but
That's
Maybe.
why, like, the Prohibition and all the gangsters, they always carry flasks with them. It wasn't because of that. It was
And they didn't die of the coronavirus?
yeah.
See? I think we're onto something. Hey, Kenny, thanks for calling, man. We're going to get the phone system worked out where we can actually take official calls one of these days. We need to do
Yeah,
that.
nice, man. But it's kick-ass, bro, that you guys are doing it, man. I really appreciate it. It gets me a Friday just to kick back, man. Keep
Hey,
it
Thanks,
thanks
man.
Kenny Boy. Much love to you and the Cruz family.
Yeah, take it easy.
right on, bro. Good, peace.
That was fun. Charging's not available because the liquid has been detected in the lightning connector. That's it.
Well, did you spill your gin and juice all over the...
I don't know what happened, but the thing just, like every typical Apple lightning connector, has just completely
Oh, it's on
self-destructed.
fire.
Now it's smoking.
Take it up.
It's on fire?
Yeah.
We have a fire in the RMS.
Broke and caught fire.
How did you...
I don't know. It's the cheap Chinese bullshit.
You might like
cheap
that
Chinese
again.
bat disease.
Buying
it was
stuff.
it was the Kung flu.
And my phone, yeah.
So did you say that your lightning cable got the Kung flu?
It's got something. It's never going to work again. I'm not planning on going there and soldering it
You can't make that kind of shit up.
live on air.
So what else?
What else is the coronavirus?
No,
So actually, I saw this thing. We didn't pull up video of it today because we were a little frazzled. But Inside Edition did this check, and I would assume most places, most grocery stores, hotels, whatever, are going above and beyond what the normal cleaning protocols would be.
You think so?
Most places needed to go above and beyond what the normal.
Is that like before you get into your room, or like the daily cleanings?
I think just overall. I know my building's out in San Francisco. We're bringing in this crazy machine that fills the air with some disinfectant steam, and we have to like cover fragile computers and stuff. And we're doing that.
That's why we had to start talking like here in Vegas.
Let's not do that anymore. So,
It was that machine.
So Inside Edition went into they did 3 different hotels. They took it's a an invisible paint that can only be seen with black light.
Yeah.
So it's like they stick jizz in a spray can basically, and they sprayed their logo Inside Edition.
So they sprayed jizz all over the bed.
That was the assumption I made just from seeing the video.
I sprayed jizz on my bed too.
Do you take a black light to it? Do you put it over a stencil? You should try that. Get an Inside Edition stencil and just cut it. So use an Inside Edition stencil. They were putting it on the pillows and on the sheets on the bed.
Okay.
And they were taking the same type of thing in a gel even more suspect. And they were wiping that on the remote and the thermostat and tables and areas that you touch. And then they were leaving and checking into the same room with a different name the next day. I don't know how you work that. And like, hey, I really liked 3194 when I was there. Can you give me that room again? But anyways, they were checking back in.
And you're like, no, I want to.
Sorry, sir.
The same room.
We're going to put somebody else in there.
Hunt. Can I have Mike Hunt's room?
Yes, Wilma Fingerdew. Can we?
Exactly.
Howie Felter Snatch is a personal favorite of mine. Barry McCock. Anyways, they would check back into this room the next day and then take their big, UV light and the sheets and the pillows all just there's spoiler alert,
jizz everywhere.
Never got changed.
There's jizz everywhere.
Literally didn't get changed. They said it's a washable solution, like it would come right out. It's not like it, so never got changed. A couple of the hotels had wiped some of the surfaces. What hotel you think was the worst?
Motel 6.
The Trump Hotel and the Trump Tower.
Well, what were they doing? Were they doing all like expensive hotels?
No, they were doing. It was a pretty good smattering. It was middle of the road. I'm trying to remember.
Did any of them pass?
No.
Oh, so they all failed.
They all failed. All three of them failed, and Trump was the worst. The Trump Tower was the worst, and they got a response. Trump Tower wouldn't say, wouldn't grant an interview, wouldn't say anything other than to literally in total Trump form send an email saying this is categorically false. We run the bet. It's right there in front of us. I mean, and unless they went and just made it up, which I guess is but it's Inside Edition. I would think that they wouldn't make stuff like that up, but who knows?
That's fake news.
Fake news.
No, I mean, but does it really? I mean, once you fail, does it really matter how bad you fail? It's like getting a DUI. Well,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
I blew a .08.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I blew a .35.
They're just talking about they can't sing in church either.
No,
you can't sing in church.
Wait, huh?
Well, you can't go to church because it's you can't go to church.
You can't go to the bar.
You can sing in your car if you're. A lot of churches are doing. In fact, I know a couple of Tracy are doing.
Postal. That's it.
Putting antennas up, like in the church, and then they're doing a broadcast, and you can come in your car.
See, there's a new set up the A-Links, and then.
A-Links, yeah.
And then get out there. And
I actually, local church here that I installed a sound system in many years ago, and I set them up with a real nice FM antenna, and I can hear this church service here at the house on Sunday mornings.
And stuff now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Freaking bullshit.
Nice.
But they're non-profit organizations, and I guess we let that fly.
How are we letting this happen?
What?
I don't understand.
What?
All this that's going on right now, like. Okay, I'll wear the mask.
Well, I think that's the best part about the 4th of July. So if you're not barbecuing, if you're not lighting off fireworks tomorrow, I mean, you don't understand the meaning of 4th of July and freedom and America and what we fought for as Americans. So I stand there. I'm going to put meat on fire. I'm going to blow shit up and drink Mexican beers.
What fireworks did you buy?
All of them.
All of them. You bought the big box. Didn't you? You bought the big box, didn't you?
I like the sound of that.
All of them.
There's a certain point. It's true. There's a certain point you hit that curve, and you're like, I'm an adult, and I wanted that box when I was 14 years old, and now I can afford that box.
I think
and the box next to it.
But they're not all the same, though.
I think the box is so big, it's bigger. It's probably taller than all of my children.
Stacked head to toe.
I want to say it's about 4 feet tall, at least.
Nice.
It's about 4 feet tall. It's big.
It's almost taller than I am.
Well, not when you're sitting on all that money. Like, I mean, you're sitting on those piles of cash. But no, we bought all the fireworks, and we're going to piss off all the neighbors. So give your dog a value.
Not all the neighbors. But a lot of your neighbors.
No, I bet you my neighbors will be out there with their kids.
But you've got that one. Everybody has the one neighbor.
You know what? It's funny when because we're on Facebook. You watching all that. All the people on the Neighborhood Watch, whether it be Tracy Rants and Raves or Manteca Neighborhood Watch.
Snakes and sparklers only. I don't think so, Tim.
What's wrong with... I used to love the snake when I was a kid.
Fun.
I used to watch a snake.
Heck yeah, Tim. That's what's up.
Remember when the lady... Speaking of the one neighbor, remember when the lady came...
The gin makes her nice and calm and relaxed.
Remember when the lady... Remember when the lady came over the complainer?
I can't stand you.
The neighbor that lives the furthest from me. Behind me and like and she that year that we had the brouhaha, for lack of a better way to put it.
Okay.
And remember she came around the corner with her arm in a cast, and
yes.
When I say there was 300 or 400 people in front of the house, and that's not an exaggeration.
They were blocking. They were blocking her house. Like there was cars lined up, not just on the cross street and your street, but they were on like the other blocks
and then,
too. On
And
12th
so
Street,
then after
everything.
the beer bottles got thrown at her and whatnot, and then we had a nice little rig set up. We had our mortar cannons all set up on a stand that we could roll in and out of the garage. And one of us had a police scanner and knew what we were listening for, and could tell when they were going to come out. And we'd pull the plug on it and we'd roll it back in the garage and yank the garage door down and. Okay, the police are gone. Pull it back out.
Game on.
More dreams.
Yeah.
She ended up at John's house. What happened at your house, John?
You know what John did the next year?
No telling.
Son of a bitch. When they threatened the class action lawsuit against me, I said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to have 4th of July out on my boat. I won't be here at all." They lit all the fireworks off in my absence on my driveway.
On your
Ash marks all over the place.
They wrote your name in sparklers.
Yeah, Scott was here. WUZ.
The year, the time.
Thanks to Pantload, neighbors.
Took a picture of it. See?
Yeah, it was here.
Exactly.
I made sure that all the lights were off in the house. It was pitch black.
No, but people get pissed about that shit. I don't understand. Like, you see the people complaining all the time. Like, they're lighting off fireworks. And
dogs and stuff getting angry at it. And you know
I
what?
understand. Like, people have to work. And it's
Put
like,
your dogs away.
it's just fireworks. Like, yeah, sometimes it's scary. Sometimes they're
You know that there's a
sometimes-
conspiracy theory, because this has been a thing in New York now, that people have been lighting off, and I've seen some videos like crazy, like 8-inch, they got to be mortars that are going off, and they're going off
8-inch
night and day.
mortars.
I saw one go off, and it's hard to judge from what you hear on a cell phone, but I mean, you could see windows shaking on buildings and stuff. This thing was crazy, and but there's a conspiracy theory now that it's some people infiltrating neighborhoods and trying to cause people with lack of sleep deprivation, and that the theory is that they'll all go out in the streets and fight one another, and it'll be another way to ruin the country.
That's what we're all coming to.
It's all conspiracy theories. It just like there was a theory at one point. This is one of my favorite ones because I've studied the CIA ones. Yeah, that the CIA went to Cuba to spread the rumor that the second coming of Christ was near, so that the Cubans, knowing that God hated communists, would rise up and take care of Castro themselves. And that was actually a thing that the CIA tried to do.
Because God hated communists.
Crazy, right?
Speaking of that, that's why we say America.
America. Take a quick break. We'll come back with a special surprise for the Dick Show tonight. And it'll be good stuff.
It's not Cobra Commander.
The Dick Show.
It's the Dick Show.
Speak to the power. Resist. Speak to the power. Resist. Speak to the power.
Back on the Dick Show. If we haven't said it already, happy birthday, Teonnie. Oh,
Happy birthday. No, hold on. We need that
kiss
on
on the
camera.
camera.
We need that on camera. Have her lean over to you. Come on. You got to see.
she'll lean
Give
over.
her, give her a kissy coo. Coronavirus! Everybody's liking our flag logo.
That's good.
We're patriotic. We're
I feel like we
patriotic.
should use that.
I'm proud to be an
We should
American.
use that more
I'm
often.
proud. I was born here.
So-
Parents were born here.
Yeah.
America.
Same here.
My nipples just got hard because that's
Because of America?
Yes,
Because of
I'm
America?
proud to be an American.
That's-
Not with all the bullshit that's going on right now.
You know what? But I
So
still.
proud of my country. It offends me. You know what? How about this?
Okay.
I hear the national anthem with somebody singing it live. If not so much on TV, but if I hear it live, it still brings a tear to my eye. I think that's patriotism right there.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know?
I agree. It gives me the chills. It's just-
yeah, exactly.
But I
the good
love
chills,
it.
not like the hair on my neck. What bad thing is going to happen to me right now?
But like,
you know.
I'm proud to
We
be an
need to
American.
all
I stand
come
up. You know, we'll be
together.
watching a sporting event in my living room, and all my kids will stand up. Dad, come on, stand up. Put your hand over your heart. You know, for the national anthem. You know, and that's just how we were raised. Like, I'm proud to be an American. And I'm proud you're an American. And I'm.
Before we do our special surprise, let's pull up my laptop real quick. I got a funny video I want to show. Let's see.
What do we
What's up
got?
with this special surprise?
Fuck out of here. But yes, like I said, they came and got them bitches. Shay.
This is a lady who CPS
Who's it?
CPS
Oh my
took her
God.
kids away from her.
She's gone.
Why?
Them bitches
Well,
is gone.
watch what you're about to see, and I think it'll be pretty clear.
Is she smoking a blunt?
It's a
Yes.
party. It's a party. It's a party. Hey.
Mind you, her kids, 7 kids have just been taken away.
It's a party.
So CPS just took her kids away.
Yes.
Okay, y'all, for real, I'm finna get the credit. They took my kids. Girl, yes, them kids was bad as fuck anyway. Fuck them kids.
All right. Well, we got the surprise in the Dick Show. Let's bring them. That's enough. That's enough for this. Why don't you guys, a couple of you, go around on the other side of the studio there so we can see everything.
Happy birthday to our producer, Teonnie.
Here, slide over a little bit so everybody can
slide
see.
over so we can
Well, we
see
put enough
you.
candles on there. We're gonna have to get a county burn permit
I don't think
here.
she's 21. There's a lot of candles on there.
I almost,
Put the hair back, Mike.
I almost bought numbers when I was there, and I thought, nah, it would be inappropriate to do that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Give me
More smoke in the studio again.
Exactly. Oh, she gonna cry in the car. She gonna cry in the car.
Give me her.
Come on.
Can you
Come on, I want my boobs.
Jam on it.
I might have to move my chair out of the way here. Here, I'll get away. I'll get away so you guys can go over there and hug your mom.
Thank you. Y'all get on my nerves. The secret stuff.
Well, we wanted to take a minute to wish you a happy birthday because we appreciate you. Sometimes.
Thank you.
Except for those times when
we don't.
when ideas get
We
vetoed
don't.
and shut down, and we don't get to talk about
I'm
them because our
42
producer
and
said
I'm
no.
feeling good.
Yes. The gin calms her down. Sure does.
It does.
I'm excited. Shut up.
Chaz Chops in the news again in Seattle.
Oh God.
If for no other reason
they
than it's
still
been
there?
it's
Are they
been
still there?
it's been disbanded. There's a hour long video of it
So
actually.
the government
online
came in. Was it Seattle or was it the feds?
right now. No, the mayor. So you know what the final nail in the coffin was for it.
No. What happened?
Apparently, the mayor's address there is very secretive.
She doesn't have a mayor's house. Isn't that like?
I forget the reason why specifically, but some government position she held before that, and it was almost like she's like if you were in the witness protection program, but you said, "Hey, while I'm here, I'm going to be a mayor."
Stop it, Karen.
Yeah. One of the council members didn't like something she said, and she marched all these people right up to the mayor's house, and the mayor
Shouldn't
said,
you be able to? You're a public servant.
Absolutely.
You're a public servant. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I nothing wrong with that at all.
I should be able to.
They're all peaceful protesters, right?
Exactly.
Right? They're peaceful. Okay, then what's wrong with them coming to your house?
Well,
like you
I
said,
mean-
they're a public. You're a public. You're a public servant. So, anyways, that was what finally did it. But what I came here to talk to you about was the fact that
So
you'll recall they shut the police station down, right?
in the Chaz or the Chop?
It's I keep hearing it referred to as CHOP, so I guess it was
so-
official that it got changed to
I know they were fighting over the ladder for the sign.
craziness. So they fired. There was no police there. Anytime the police tried to respond to assist the paramedics to get in, I think I mentioned that a show or two ago, where a guy's filing lawsuit against them because medical attention couldn't come soon enough. Why? Because the medical technicians needed to be escorted in with the police, and the protesters were saying, no, the police don't come in here.
Yeah.
So seeing that the crime statistics were out of hand in there, 6-block radius, crime statistics during the couple weeks that this has taken place blew out of the water.
Now, this was
all the
supposed to
crime
be an
statistics.
autonomous zone, too.
Supposed to be a utopia.
Yeah.
Blowing out of the water the crime statistics for that area for the entire 2019 year, right? So they said, well, we can't have this.
You can't make this kind of shit up.
No, it gets better or worse. So they hired a private security firm.
So wait. Stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
So they took over the police station, kicked the police out.
I don't know if they took it over, but they kicked the police out. Yeah.
So the police leave, and then they bring in
Armed private security, who will then listen. Rent-a-cops who will then listen to them.
Were they armed?
Yes. 2 Utes got in a Jeep, 2 Utes, and decided they want to go for a little joyride. Now, I'm going to lay it out for you here if you haven't seen. The people in this organization barricaded themselves in this autonomous zone with cement K-rails and the big orange. They're kind of like K-rails, but they'd be filled with water. They're the big plastic, right? And so there was one way in, one way out. So the two Utes got in their Jeep and they went for a joyride and they were spinning donuts and they were.
I used to DJ those events. Like they used to have like the motorcycle guys go out there and pop wheelies and people spin donuts.
I remember that.
Yeah.
How high could we get the?
Yeah.
How high could we get the hydraulics? Oh my God! He did a flip, first time in history. So the whole shitty Toyota pickup truck. So the kids did their they did their joyride and their donuts, whatever. They tried to get out. And they couldn't find a way out. Yeah. So they're, freaking out a little bit because now people are coming at them the same way that they had been going after police cars. And the rent-a-cop draws his gun, and the guy keeps coming at him.
For spinning donuts.
He puts rounds in the car, and a 16-year-old driver died, and the 14-year-old was seriously wounded.
Hold on there, Dick. So you're telling me they kicked the cops out for police brutality and hired their own cops who
then murdered a 16-year-old for doing donuts.
Spinning donuts.
That is correct. So I think the totality of the circumstances between that and the little visit that they paid to the mayor's house is probably.
So the secret mayor was like, "Fuck these guys, you're out."
That's it. We can't have rent-a-cops killing people in the street.
So
are we going to know who that rent-a-cop is? Are we going to learn of their address and their home address? Are we going to know who their wife is and what she does for a living? Probably not. I think we should.
Are they held accountable? Were they arrested?
Nothing else on that.
What else we got in the news then? That's a terrible story.
Something I posted on Facebook. A couple things I posted on Facebook. I've been a Facebook posting son of a gun this last week. But
what about snowboarding?
I did post about snowboarding. If I don't get to snowboard this year, expect to see the TV news with the neighbors on there saying he was such a nice man. We never would have expected this from Scott. He was.
Well, make sure you put in your.
He
trust.
Used to mow the lawn as a boy.
Make sure in your trust I get all the equipment, so we can keep the show.
Burn it all.
Keep the show like your lightning
I can't
cable.
have it. Nobody
like your
can.
Lightning cable.
You don't want that lightning cable. I'm worried it did something to my phone.
You can leave Teonnie the lightning cable.
It thought that water got into the cable, and then I held it up and it was smoking. So God only knows what it did to the phone. No, but the other things I posted, we've talked about this before. All these statues coming down. Why are we taking down statues of people that fought the Confederacy? Why do we? And I pose a simple question. There are, Christ only knows why, statues of Vladimir Lenin that exist in New York, Los Angeles, and Seattle. And I'm just curious why those haven't been toppled. More than 3 million people can be deaths of more than 3 million people can be directly attributed to him. The Red Terror and the Civil War that took place.
Is it because half people don't know what communism is, or it's just they're not?
Communism is good according to a lot of people. I don't know when that changed, because when I went to school, we learned that it was bad.
Well, I mean, maybe if you're AOC, communism is good, but other than that, or who's the other guy who wanted to be president for like the last 20 years? It's
funny to me how people who sit at home on disability or don't really. They got a degree in underwater basket weaving at some liberal arts college, and they've worked at a coffee shop for 10 years, and they're telling me how bad and evil capitalism is.
Well, it's because they've never made enough money to provide a living for themselves.
Yeah, and one exchange I had in the last week on Facebook was somebody I know who fits the description of one of the aforementioned people telling me that I'm miserable because I live in a capitalist society. I'm not.
I'm actually pretty happy.
I work for one of the wealthiest guys in San Francisco. He's a pretty decent guy. He pays me good. Oh no, the shrinks. Ask any shrink, they'll tell you you're miserable. I said, so I should take my well-earned money, go pay a shrink, so that he can tell me how miserable I am as a capitalist. I think I'd rather just go home and spend some time with my family. But thanks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have poor people problems. I'm trying to figure out if I should buy a Harley or not.
Communism is, if we want to pull this back around to the coronavirus for a second. So,
oh God, here we go.
When communism first took hold in China,
they got the coronavirus.
People were dying because they couldn't afford food, and the powers that be actually allowed them a bit of capitalism and said, "Look, we know that we are unable to supply you with enough food to feed your families and to stay alive, so we're going to allow you to take rats and cats and bats and other things that rhyme with sat and sell them in these god awful places for whatever Pat and sell them for whatever measly pennies you guys can scrape together so that you can afford to eat and make a living. And that's why we are here right now. Somebody ate a bat and now I got to wear a mask everywhere I go.
You got the Chinese bat flu?
Fucking bullshit.
That's what they say though.
What'd they say?
It's a lot of freaking lies being told. I ain't here.
That's
I'm
the
not
problem.
here to talk. I'm
Well,
just
that's the
listening.
problem. Well, no, that's the problem with why everybody doesn't want to listen with everything. That's why everybody's questioning everything and everybody's arguing over should I wear a mask, should I not wear a mask? Because everything they tell you is, well, you should wear a mask, but you shouldn't wear this mask. But don't wear those masks. Those are for
How
other
about
people.
we all just wear a
Use for these
hazmat
things.
suit?
A bubble. I like that Tyvek suit. I think
'Cause
you know.
we don't know.
You know what? If
We
you made
don't
me
know.
wear a bubble, I promise you, it would be like a damn pinball game. I'd be running into all.
Can I wear one of those big round ones that you roll down the street? We just bump into one another.
It's
and
hot outside, so we can run into shit. Just bam.
I'll get a tinted one, so it's
I'd be
not so
freaking
hot with a little
bowling.
air
You just see me
conditioner.
boom, 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 boom,
No,
boom,
I don't
boom.
think. I don't think that
saying
you can.
because they're saying, okay, we have to wear a mask. I get it. Let's wear a mask. But how do they know that this mask is protecting the freaking
not-
everything?
it's not about
Okay,
protecting.
so
It's about. It's about
not-
stopping the
it's just-
transmission.
yeah,
it's
no.
about looking like a freaking idiot.
No, it's more than
and
looking like an
agreeing
idiot.
with what they're saying. Yes,
no, it's
it
just so
is.
you're not sneezing and coughing over everybody.
We do that any mother effing way.
Yeah,
with
but-
the damn flu.
Well, here's the thing.
They want you
Here's the
coughing
thing I
and
say.
sneezing.
Like, no,
That's
no,
on people.
Here's
I
the
think-
thing.
I think the lies has been told, and a lot of
Luxury
you
Taco
idiots
Bell.
continue to be idiots. But we need to all group together and just go to the freaking White House and be like, you know what? We are not doing this shit.
Put it on the Dick Show credit card. We're going on the White House.
But I think that you can't blame the American people anymore for this, and
No,
why can't you?
agree.
Because you have the media
I am
who's
gonna blame idiots.
you've had the media who's done nothing but with their horror porn of just telling us that millions of people, the bodies are going to stack up in the street, and then when it didn't happen, they found New York and parts of Los Angeles where the bodies were stacking up in the streets, and then that was all we saw on the news for a while, and it was just
Quit watching the news.
show the
If you're weak-minded and you're going to continue to be led by lies, quit watching the media.
It was-
Stay your ass off of Facebook. Like, do some
I think
real
I'll-
research.
I think that's half of the problem is people get their news and take it as law from
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. So, I mean, anybody can do a Google search and find anything to support any idea or topic that they might want to have. But, I mean, you can go on to the state website right now or the federal website right now, pull actual numbers. I mean, even from the CDC, like, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, fact of the matter is there's a less than 0.1% chance that this virus is fatal. And everything and their mother and everybody's running around scared because they don't know what the hell to believe and what the hell not to believe anymore.
The
That's
sky
the,
is
well, and-
falling.
and
the honest truth is
sky
people don't know
falling.
what to believe or what not to believe
And
anymore.
Part
That's
two,
that's where half of the fear
part
is.
two of what I was about to say is when you don't have the media showing us
falling,
images over and over and over again of things that are turning out to not be quite as dire as they predicted. On the other hand, then you have government entities that are saying, don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
Do wear a mask.
Exactly.
Wear an N95 mask. No, don't wear an N95 mask. Those will transmit outside the mask, and we don't want that. The disease can't survive on solid surfaces.
You know what-
we're just kidding. It
you know
can.
what that sounds
if
like?
you
Not
don't have
forget
the.
we can-
You know
if
what
don't
that
have the-
sounds like to me? It sounds like a guy in the club when you took that girl home. You're like, oh, come on, girl. It's okay. I don't need to wear a condom. It's all right. It's all right.
There you go.
I got
don't
the good
I don't
pull-out
sleep
method.
around. My pull-out game is strong.
Or the girl's like, I don't usually do this, but
Exactly. I don't normally
works both ways, you know.
Exactly.
Well, can't we get the virus through our eyes too? So why are we not wearing goggles?
Shut up. I'm not wearing goggles.
You're gonna make.
I'm just
We're not gonna
saying.
be able to go to our
That's what
4th of
they're
July
saying.
party tomorrow.
We're gonna
That's what
see.
they're saying.
We're gonna see Governor. We're gonna see Governor on the news on Monday. So
How
the
you gonna
CDC
follow
now
one
recommends
direction
for
and not
Teonnie
all?
to wear goggles from now on.
Wear butt plug too.
At some
'cause
at some
I
point.
hear there's
Well, that's the thing. The
No,
flatulence. we
so
talked about that.
here's a word of advice to you, right? Everybody go buy stock in Speedo right now. The Speedo goggles, right? Because
The swim
Butt plugs.
goggles.
the swim goggles, because you're about to go.
No more ass
They're
licking.
about to go crazy. Whoa.
They did say that. I saw it. How was it
Yeah,
worded?
you can catch
Avoid
it through
sexual
the anus.
activities that involve licking of the anus. Was I believe how it was printed. So,
At
all you millennials out
At
there,
all?
that's your thing. Well, I mean,
So
we
you
talked
can't-
about it a couple weeks ago.
So
That
what
that's
you're
it's an
saying
article
is
saying
you
that
can't eat
flatulence
the
can
booties
transmit.
like groceries.
Like groceries.
Okay, what's
Not definitely not in lieu of groceries. I think
What did you just say?
you want to eat groceries when it's time to eat groceries.
What did you just call people? What, millennial?
Millennials, yeah,
What does that mean?
that's the generation of people that are really that's their thing is the booty licking.
Oh, that's dope. I'm a
They
millennial.
love it, love the booty.
Actually, I think what are you? 24, Teonnie? You are, I think, a Generation Xer. I think you're a Gen Xer, to be completely honest.
What is a
You
Gen
can like
Xer?
licking booties too. That's
You know what?
like
We're
baby
gonna talk-
boomers and then Gen Xers and then
you know
Who's
what,
a
we're
Gen
gonna-
Xer?
Hey, I'm going to school you next week. We're going to
What
have
came
a
be-
talking about this.
What came between the baby boomers and the Gen Xers?
Nothing. It was the baby boomers then and Gen
Oh,
Xers.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're Gen Xers for sure then,
Yes.
because my
I
mom
think
hated that. She
We're
was
on
just
the
called
we're
baby
on the
boomers.
we're on the cusp of Gen Xers and millennials. So
Okay, Gen Xer.
I think millennials started at like 1981 or
All these
82 or
damn
something like that. It
names.
was really close, and I think they call them like Gen or Y2K or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're still like you're young enough to embrace technology, but you're also
old enough to not
old
care.
enough to I can still drink from a garden hose and go outside and ride bikes and throw rocks at each other. And
Right.
have a
Roll
good,
around in
have a
mud,
good time.
climb
Exactly.
trees.
Kenny Boy just said, "Toss my salad." So on that note, so we got a special. You want to talk about? We're going to close the show
I
out.
want to talk about it. We're gonna head out of here, guys. But before we go, there's something that was really dear and close to my heart. We lost a real one here in Tracy yesterday. A real Tracy legend. A close friend of mine. I am grateful and glad to be able to call him a friend. My deepest condolences to the Traina family. Roger Traina, you will be missed.
Yeah, he was a good dude.
Thoughts and prayers out to your family.
It was.
We love you, brother. May you rest in peace.
And definitely good memories of him. So
Crab feed.
on that, yeah, I think we miss him at the crab feed to see him all the time.
He was a Tracy breakfast lion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good guy.
for those that knew him, I mean, I think he knew so many people. I mean, he never said a bad word about anybody. He's a Tracy legend.
So we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Glad that we were able to make it almost an hour, as we cut it a little short last time. You know, I had somebody tell me, you guys got to do a show for at least 45 minutes. And my response in the text message to him was, go ahead and send me some money and I'll dance for you as long as you want. But I'm in Vegas right now. I'm going to enjoy myself. So, you know, it is what it is. And we'll be back here again next week at 7 p.m. for another hour-long show. Thank you guys.
See you guys next week. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
A dick like mine, dick like mine, dick like mine. Works every time, dick like mine, dick like mine. A dick like mine.
The Dick Show.